رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين غير مقنوط من رحمته ولا مأيوس من مغفرته ولا مستنكف عن عبادته فطر الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته. الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على أول مستوره وخاتم أنبيائه الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرضين بأبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس أهل البيت وطهرهم تطهيرا. واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية الباقية على أعدائهم ومنكري فضائلهم وغاصبي حقوقهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الإمام الحسين عليه الصلاة والسلام: إني لم أخرج أشرا ولا بطرا ولا مفسدا ولا ظالما، وإنما خرجت لطلب الإصلاح في أمة جدي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Respected scholars, my elders, dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before starting my discussion, I'm requesting a Surah Fatiha for Haji Kasam Ali Ismail, Haji Nazar Ali Jafar, Haji Shaukat Ali Nazar Ali, and Kul Marhumin. Rahimallahu man qara al-Fatiha. Bismillah. The topic that we were covering in these nights was what type of battle the Karbala is. So we understood that Karbala is not a battle between the two troops. It's not a battle between the two militaries. It is rather a battle between the two ideologies. And the way you understand that the groups in Karbala were not very much equal, not at all equal. On one side, you could see thousands of the people coming with maybe at that time the advanced weapons, but on the other hand, we had the group of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, which was not that much powerful, which was having many of the ladies and kids and children with them. So it was very much evident that the battle over there from the very beginning was not designed to be on military basis, on weapons basis. Rather, it was a battle, a fight, a clash between the two ideologies. We said there is a right ideology and there is a wrong ideology. There is a right and correct way of looking at the world, which is the correct worldview and ideology, and there is a wrong way of looking at the world. Imam Hussein fought at that time to correct the perceptions of the people at that time. People were changing their perceptions to ibadah. They were changing their perceptions towards tawheed, towards nubuwah, towards Islam, and towards many of the other topics that we covered in recent nights. Today, inshallah, I'll continue the same topic a bit. What we left last night, we will cover tonight as well. But before that, we need to understand in Karbala, the camp of Imam Hussein was something which was influential. Imam Hussein himself was an influential individual, but on the other hand, the people with Imam Hussein, the companions, the Banu Hashim, the ladies, the gents with Imam Hussein, all were making an impact onto the minds of the people. And still they are making impacts. Still they are changing the minds of the people. It's not only Imam, even after Imam, the way we mentioned two nights before as well, even the movement was more important after the martyrdom of Imam Hussein. So the same way we see that many a times it is coming from Hazrat Zainab, it is coming from Hazrat Abbas, it is coming from any other member of the family of Ahlul Bayt. And they are presenting a perspective which is very much new. Today, we want to cover this question whether the age is an important factor in our salvation or not. If a person thinks that if I reach to a certain age, only then I can reach to salvation. If I'm not having certain age, I'm not eligible enough to serve the religion, serve Ahlul Bayt, serve Imam of the time. If only I am that much powerful physically, only then I can be at service of Imam. This concept was a wrong perspective, a wrong ideology. But in Karbala we saw that Lady Zainab proved it wrong. She brought up, she trained sons who were very young. According to historians, Lady Zainab had 4 sons. And there is a debate whether Hazrat Aun and Hazrat Muhammad were very young or not. But many of the historians have given this possibility that they were maybe 12 years of age, 12 to 13 years of age. But some historians believe that they were even having, they were more aged. And that is completely fine. The point is that Lady Zainab did the tarbiyah, did the upbringing which caused this thing, that they were keen, they were enthusiastic towards Imam of the time, to help Imam of the time. Have we done the tarbiyah? Have our parents learned this lesson from Karbala, that they have to do the tarbiyah which is bringing and taking their children towards Imam of the time? And have we learned this lesson from Hazrat Zainab, that according to Maqatil Hazrat Zainab, when Ali al-Akbar, Hazrat Ali Akbar got martyred, she was crying. She was weeping, but when Aunu Muhammad got martyred, she did not cry. And this is a reality, and this is a question that we need to ask ourselves, that a person can reach, as a parent, a person can reach to a point where they are sacrificing their children, their 2 sons, and they are becoming so strong that they are not even crying. I was just watching one video from a very young girl, daughter of a Shaheed. In recent days, many people got martyred in Iran, in Iraq, in Lebanon. And it was a morning session. It was Aza, Majlis al-Aza. And they had invited this daughter of a Shaheed to the Majlis, and she was not crying. So the person who was reciting Nawha, he said, we are expressing our condolences to her because her father got martyred. She interrupted and she said, why you are saying condolences? You have to say congratulations. Because I'm not crying. They asked, why you are not crying? Then she replied, if I cry, the enemies will get happy. That is why, young girl, 10, 12 of age. And she's saying, no, I'm not crying because I want to remain strong, because if I'm strong, the enemies are still weak. If I cry and become weak, the enemies are going to be happy. This is a lesson that we can take from Karbala. This is a lesson that Hazrat Zainab is giving to us. As a parent, as a mother, she is so strong that when the two sons are getting martyred, she is not crying at all. So we need that strong tarbiyah. We need that strong basis and strong foundations in our parents, in our tarbiyah of the children, and how we can make that strong tarbiyah which can contribute to our imam of the time, which can bring our children near to the religion, to the religious activities, to our Ahlul Bayt. We need to understand this. We need to learn this. We need to study this. This will not happen. This is not a coincidence. This is not an accident that all of a sudden you are sleeping and waking up in the morning and say, okay, I've done the tarbiyah. Tarbiyah is a gradual process. You need to start from somewhere and you need to keep pushing. You won't believe if you just go and analyze the parents in the West, where they are not having so much opportunities for their children to bring them into masjid, to bring them for majalis, for such sessions. They're spending hours of hours to do the right tarbiyah of their children. Inshallah, tomorrow apparently we are going to have, inshallah, a session with young parents right after the niyaz, inshallah, upstairs. Upstairs, inshallah, will be a session, 8:30. And there we will initiate a process only. We can't convey the whole discussion of tarbiyah in one night, one session or two sessions. But that would be one initiation wherefrom you can take this journey on and you can study what is the correct tarbiyah. Let us understand a bit of this question that we presented tonight, that whether the age is something which matters in our salvation. The brief answer is that age does not matter. You can be anyone, you can be a very young person, you can be a very old person. It matters the moment you start understanding, the moment you start perceiving the realities around you, the moment you start understanding who you are a human being, the moment you start understanding what are the needs of yours, and the moment, especially for the youngsters, the moment they understand that where their life is starting, that is the time they can contribute to the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They can contribute to the cause of Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salatu wasalam. They can contribute to their imam of the time. We have covered this question again and again. Again, I'm insisting on this idea that you be a very young person. You be a very old person. Your age does not count unless you are linked with the divine realities. You can be very old, 90, 100, 80, 70, 60, 50 years of age, but maybe your real age is only 5 years, 10 years. Because that is the age that you've spent for your religion, for your Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for your creator, for your Ahlul Bayt, for Anbiya, for Awliyaullah. You can be only 10 years of age, but you might have spent all the life that you have from the time you started perceiving the realities around you. You spend the whole life into the khidmah of Quran, khidmah of Allah, khidmah of Rasulullah, khidmah of Ahlul Bayt. You are 10 years of age. That is why we need to understand how much important your age is. Especially normally when we are in the young ages, we are focusing on our youth so we can make best out of it. Today, I just want to cover 2-3 elements over here because we are mentioning Hazrat Muhammad, who were very young according to some of the narrations. So that is why let us see our young age, how it can help us, and what should be my goal when I am a young person. Everybody can a young person, by the way, by heart. So maybe even elders can relate to the discussion. Please recite the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created human beings and has kept many of the faculties in human being. Faculty of intellect, faculty of desires, faculty of ghadab. At times, we are misusing the faculties that we are having. It's like when somebody is giving you a power, you can utilize it in a good manner or you can misuse it. Somebody is giving you a knife, knife can be utilized in a good manner or it can be utilized in a wrong manner. It can be misused as well. It happens for everything. What is the correct approach towards a power, towards an ability that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us, towards a faculty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us, is called equilibrium, is called balance. We need to reach to this equilibrium, this balance. That is the correct use of that faculties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us. Allah has given us energy. So 2-3 aspects I wanted to cover today. The first would be that the youngsters are more energetic. You have that capacity, that power. Maybe when you go play with the elders, the youngsters might be able to play for 3-4 hours, but youngsters will say after half an hour, they will say, we are tired. But youngsters are having that energy. You can stand over here and have the sinazani for maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, because you're young. Maybe the elders are not having that power anymore. So you are having an energy. What is the correct use of energy? Is that you utilize it in a halal manner. You make it to reach to equilibrium. What is the equilibrium of energy? That sense of being very much, vibrant, energetic. The equilibrium is that you shouldn't be lazy and you shouldn't be overly active towards something. This would be the balance. Many a times, I remember in the very first nights, some of the people shared their ideas that at times we understand the matters. We understand what is halal, what is haram. We understand what is right, what is wrong. We understand what is a correct ideology, what is a corrupt ideology. But the point is, we become lazy at times. Imam Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wa salam, Ya Ali. In Nahjul Balagha he says, Al-ajzu afah. Al-ajzu afatun. That incapability comes from the laziness. The moment you see that the energy is there, the power is there, you are capable of something, but you deliberately do not do that thing, that is ajz. It's not where you cannot do at all. For example, you are not able to lift 500 kg of weight. Nobody recently there was a record of 501 kg somebody lifted. But apparently, according to science, 501 is not possible for a normal body as a human being. And there is a study behind it why the person could break the record. The point is, if I'm not able to lift 550 kg, and here the incapability refers to my lack of strength, which cannot be there, which is impossible, that is not afat. Afat means catastrophe. It's misfortune. It's not that misfortune, but it is misfortune when you are able to do something. You are able to go and study something. You are able to go and learn a skill. You are able to go and cover a course. You are able to go and learn what is halal, what is haram for you. You are able to go and learn how the namaz is being recited, how you can recite a better Quran. What are the ahadith that you are relying upon? What is the identity of your Shiism, for example? What are the justifications about many of the questions which are being raised against your understanding and your belief, for example? These are the things that you are capable of. You can go, you can learn, you can study, you can justify many of the things which are there, but you still say, I don't have time for it. I don't have energy for it. You have energy, you are capable, but you are lazy. This is a misuse of your energy. As a youngster, if you are able of, let's say, going forward for 5 steps, you always have to keep your goal for 10 steps, so you can at least cover 5 steps. You need to understand energy is something which is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which has been given to you. This is one thing that you have to look into. Do not be lazy. The moment you see you are capable of something, you set your goal higher than what you are assuming you can do. So at least you are covering the things you are capable of. Number 2, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us as the faculty as a human being is intellect. Is intellect. We understand more, we can memorize more, we can ponder more, we can reflect more, we can spend time more on many of the things which are complicated. We can study, by the way, day by day we are having a shorter time span for our attentions, but still we are capable more. What is the correct use of intellect? If you go and misuse the intellect, that is the deception. The moment you start deceiving people, you are misusing your intellect. Many a times, you easily can deceive people, you know. In previous days, people were very naive. They were not using too much of tawriya. But nowadays, many of the youngsters are using tawriya. What is tawriya? Not to address what is being asked. They are addressing something else. So you are asking something, they answer something else. This is a sort of deception. This is the misuse of your intellect. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you the intellect, you have to use it in a correct manner. If you don't use it, you will lose that dignity of human being. If you use it in a wrong manner, you will do the injustice, you will deceive the people. But the correct use of intellect is called wisdom. That means you need to identify where you should be talking, what should be said, and what is the correct and polite way of saying that thing. This is a wisdom. One of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us is emotions. Emotions are very important. There are other aspects. I've written 3-4 aspects of intellect as well. For example, when somebody is having a very strong intellect, and it has been seen in our youngsters nowadays very much, ego comes. The moment you see that I am able of something, or maybe you are getting better grades in your schools and exams, the moment you see I'm getting 100 out of 100, for example, you will say, okay, I'm someone. I'm becoming strong. And the more you go into it, you see that ego comes, and you are not ready to listen to any of the criticism. So this is also one of the cons of your intellect. Coming back to the emotions, one of the faculties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us is emotions. Emotions are the ones which some of the times can drive us towards progress. And emotions are the ones which can also take us down and prevent us from the growth. The importance of emotions, you can easily relate to it, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to give life to Karbala and Imam Hussein. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just combined the tragedy of Karbala with the emotions of human beings. Because emotions are going to be there forever. There will not be a day in the human history where the emotions are not there. Emotions will be there forever. And that is why, since Imam Hussein is linked with emotions, Imam Hussein is going to be alive forever. But what do we mean when we say, should we be utilizing our emotions in our practices or not? See, there are two aspects to the emotions. One aspect is that we are emotional beings. That is true. We have emotions, that is true. The other aspect is whether we act as an emotional being or not. This is very important, by the way. You just listen, reflect upon it afterwards. We are emotional, yes we are. Do we act according to our emotions? The answer should be no. Emotions can make you understand the things which can never be understood by other beings other than human beings. Malaika will not be able to understand the emotions. The animals would not be able to understand the emotions. Only you as a human being, you are able to understand the emotions. That is why you are crying. That is why you listen to the Masaib. That is why you are sitting over here for Imam Hussein. That is why you are beating your chest and doing the azah. These are related to your emotions. That is why you are understanding emotions. But whether I should be acting according to my emotions all the time, the answer should be no. Why? Because the moment you understand something based on your emotions should be going through the filter of your aql as well. And this is the correct utilization of your emotions, that when it reaches to your practice, it should not be merely emotions, it should be a combination of emotions with your intellect as well. Emotions might say, some of the times emotions might say that no, you can go towards a person who's like double of your size and you'll start fighting with him, but your intellect would say, at least assess the situation, otherwise you lose. Emotions will say, okay, the moment, let's say you are playing with someone and all of a sudden somebody just scored a goal against you, or maybe tackled you, all of a sudden you are becoming emotional, I'll go towards him, this and that, and you'll do a foul and get a red card. What will happen to you? Because you went emotional. But at that moment when you understood emotionally that this was something which hurt you, that is the moment you need to analyze what is the best way forward. That is the work of your intellect. So my youngsters, try to understand, you are an emotional being, but should you be acting as an emotional being? The answer is no. The answer should be no. But normally we are doing emotional acts. Anyhow, one of the misuse of emotion can be in many of the fields. One of the fields is that where we are showing our desires, that is also related to our emotions. The thing that we yesterday started but could not cover. So our desires require us certain things. If the desire is something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept into us as a faculty, if desire was not there, we would never go to get married. We would never go towards extending our families further, because intellectually looking at the family, it's loss. Only when the desire comes in and emotions come in, it becomes win-win. You're getting my point? You're with me? Please recite Salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. This cannot be more interesting than this, because this discussion is pretty much intellectual discussion, and you need to bear with me. So, only intellectual perspective to marriage, to relationships between the opposite gender will be a lose-lose. But when it comes, emotions come intellectual perspective, it becomes win-win. So that is why emotions and desires will be there which are requiring you to go towards the opposite gender as a youngster. But the problem is, if you are going with the thing which is not halal, you are going for a relationship which is haram relationship, you are starting and initiating your life with an haram practice. And that will take out the blessings of your life forever. Tomorrow, and this is besides many of the side effects which are there, emotionally and psychologically, and many of the social side effects will be there. I'm just focusing on the religious perspective. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us some guidelines, has given us some outlines, that these are the outlines you should be considering when it comes to the opposite gender relationship. You can go and talk to someone who's na-mahram to you. You can have interaction with them. And this can be continued until it reaches to a point where either there is a fear of haram, or this becomes something which is haram. Fear of haram makes it haram as well, or some people will go directly for the haram. You can have, for example, couple of times I've seen in many of the places which I'm active as in the academic environment, people are having common projects in schools and colleges. So you'd ask, what you were doing with her? The boy would say, I was discussing my project with her. You'll ask the girl, what was you doing with him? I was discussing my project with him. So at times this project, if it is only and merely project, that is completely accepted. If you are talking about something which is not a flirt, which is not taking you to the thing which becomes somehow romantic discussions and all, then it is okay. But the moment it starts with joking, with having things which are not necessary, continuing the discussions where it is not necessary to continue, your assignment and your project has been done, but you say, okay, what's up? How are the things? Tell me about yourself, tell me about your family, tell me about this, tell me about that. And then you see eventually this relationship will reach to a point where it becomes haram. We need to understand, there is a time for our marriage. When we reach to that time, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will prepare the ground for you to have a wonderful relationship with your wife, and for the ladies, for the girls, to have a wonderful relationship with their husbands. But before that, if you are having a relationship which is categorized as a haram relationship, this is a wrong beginning of your life. Wrong beginning, wrong perspective. How to tackle it? The only solution for this is your strong mind and strong ideology. The way I said yesterday. Many of the things that I mentioned today as well, the faculties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you, if you utilize your energy in a correct manner, many a times you need sports, many a times you need other activities as well. Utilize yourself in those activities so you are not too much focusing on the relationships with haram, with na-mahram people. But if somebody feels that I need that person for my life and it is the only option, it is the only thing that I need in my life, etc., ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to prepare that person for your future life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is more than capable to prepare that ground for you or for the other person. If you are equally liking each other, break this haram relationship, so tomorrow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will prepare a halal relationship for you. These are the things, when it comes to the elders, I would say, these are the things that you need to day and night discuss with your children. Tarbiyah does not mean only to take them and teach them maybe how to recite and how to perform a namaz or so. Our parents, our elders, they need to get involved in the lives of our youngsters. The way they are living the life. Not from the perspective the elders like to look at the youngsters. And this is what makes a good tarbiyah. Our fathers, they need to look into the matters of boys. Our mothers, they need to look into the matters of the girls. In a way, the way that the challenges are, and this is what makes the Zainabi tarbiyah. And this is what makes Aun and what makes Muhammad. This was the tarbiyah which, when on Muhammad being youngsters, young boys, when they go towards Imam Hussein, Imam of the time, requesting Imam, can I go to the battlefield and can I go to sacrifice myself unto you? Imam says, no, I am not allowing you to go to the battlefield. You are too young to go towards battlefield. Your mother goes to Imam Hussein. Hazrat Zainab goes to Imam Hussein. And she requests that, oh my brother, allow my sons to go to the battlefield. This is not a very simple thing. You can't just pass by this in a very simple manner. Today, mothers are, in a way, they are very soft towards their children. And it was like this from before. Karbala has changed the perspectives. Hazrat Ibrahim having in his hand. That sign having in his hand. That sign remained on the neck of Ismail. When Hazrat Ibrahim brought back Ismail to the house, and Hajar, being a mother of such a nice boy, young boy, she asked Ibrahim, Ibrahim, what happened to the neck of my son? Ibrahim replied, this has happened. I was about to sacrifice my son. And that was the moment when Hajar started crying, and she cried to an extent that narrations say after 2 or 3 days she was no more. She left this world because she was a mother. But our salutations and our salams to Lady Zainab, who was in Karbala, who saw Muhammad being martyred in front of her. But when Muhammad came back to the camps of Imam Hussein, when Imam Hussein brought the news of Muhammad, she didn't even cry on Muhammad. Let's compare it to the time when Ali al-Akbar came back to the camps of Imam Hussein. She was loving the Imam Hussein's son so much, but she was never looking at her own sons. That is why she sacrificed herself in the battle of Karbala. That was a time when Lady Zainab went to Imam Hussein, oh brother Hussein, are you giving me the permission? I'm taking the permission of my sons. Let them go to the battlefield. And then Imam Hussein said, oh my sister, how can I give you the permission? These boys are too young to go to the battlefield. And then Lady Zainab insisted until she got the permission. On and Muhammad went to the battlefield and they fought with the enemies. To an extent, they killed many of the enemies. And they reached to a point where On and Muhammad, one by one, some of the narrations say On got martyred first, and some of the narrations say Muhammad got martyred first. But the moment the brother saw that the other brother is getting martyred, he went on and killed the enemy who killed my brother, and they both got martyred together. I would say, oh Aun, oh Muhammad, you were together when you got martyred. You were not separated. You did not separate each other from each other. But I am remembering the day of Ashura, when Imam Hussein went to the body of Hazrat Abbas, and Abbas replied to Imam Hussein, oh Imam Hussein, don't take my body to the camps. And here is Imam Hussein coming back from the body of Hazrat Abbas. But here are two brothers. One is Abbas and the other is Imam Hussein. But there is a long separation. Abbas is near the river and Hussein is back into the camps. Ala la'natullahi ala al-qawmi al-zalimin. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون